After a scoreless draw last week, the Rowdies are ready to get back on track. FC Tulsa is streaking, but can they handle the heat of Ralph's mob in St. Petersburg? Find out next. It's a hot, humid Saturday night at Al Lang Stadium as the Tampa Bay Rowdies return home to face FC Tulsa, the league's hottest team, with 5 straight wins. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to St. Petersburg. Austin Lyon, Ryan Davis, thank you so much for joining us. A huge week for this Rowdies franchise. They named Nicky Law as their new head coach. Earlier this week, Law was a player coach for a franchise in Huntsville, and tonight he makes his head coaching debut.
And Austin, like you said, Nicky Law was brought in here just about a year ago as a player. He was part of this group on the field. Now off the field, he has to guide this troop into the same consistency that they had before. But can he keep up to the task and have these players stay on track after the huge presence of Neil Collins has now vacated?
He starts with a major challenge tonight. FC Tulsa has won 5 consecutive matches. Philip Goodrum has been incredible for this team the last month and a half.
Well, now this team has a focal point. Philip Goodrum, 7 goals in 10 games. He's an actual beast off the ball and also in the box. He can also provide space and assists as well. He has 2 on the season. He is a real factor for the Rowdies tonight.
Rowdies with just 1 goal in their last 2 games, trying to be better in the final third. And Cal Jennings, certainly a guy who has proven he has that quality.
Cal Jennings is the epitome of efficiency. He has 8 goals in only 19 shots, so he doesn't waste much possession for the Rowdies in the last third. He can finish with the ball coming on the run, and he can finish with the ball coming from the sides. A real factor for the Rowdies.
Rowdies trying to get a result as they're back at home. 4th meeting all time between these teams. Tampa Bay has never lost. They'd love to continue that trend. Opening kickoff from St. Pete is next.
Imagine a company steeped in heritage, innovating into the promise of what the future can bring, like a phoenix helping others find prosperity. Sagicor's brand, the wisdom to help people make solid financial decisions and the compassion to do good for society and those in need. Life insurance and annuities from Sagicor show your partner, family, and loved ones just how much you care about their financial security. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
What happens when a company puts health solutions at the center of everything it does? At Florida Blue, Tai Chi happens. Nurse visits happen. This happens. A nutrition class happens. Answers to your health insurance questions happen. And a healthier you happens. So come by your local Florida Blue Center and experience health solutions at the center.
There are 16 spots in the playoffs, and just 1 track left. Well, not just any track.
We're basically going to have to win.
Daytona. A last chance to keep playoff hopes alive.
We're 1 point to the good.
And for fans to experience an event unlike any other. It's time to go big. Yeah! And watch the drama unfold before your very eyes. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Rowdies and FC Tulsa set for kickoff here at Al Lang Stadium in St. Petersburg. Should be a good one tonight between 2 playoff contending teams in the Eastern Conference. Let's take you through the starting 11 for both of these teams. First for FC Tulsa. Keep an eye on Justin Malou in the back, promising young player. In the midfield, Marcus Epps, Tommy McCabe, Eric Bird, tremendous talents. All have been playing well as of late. And we highlighted Philip Goodrum in the Open. He has been named Player of the Week twice in the last 5 weeks. The lineup for the Rowdies as Nicky Law makes his head coaching debut. A lot of familiar faces, not many changes to the formation, Ryan.
Correct. This team has done so well. Yes, the results didn't come in the last 2 matches. With Arman and Ekra back in the middle, Doherty actually is going to line up with Ekra in the middle of the field. And Harris, Dennis, and Arman will provide that with Jennings and LaCava trying to get the goals for the Rowdies tonight. Of course, Guillen, Lasso, and Antley, the staples at the back in front of the Bird, Sparrow.
Aaron Guillen started every game for this club since joining the team prior to the 2020 season. Only player to start every single match this year for the Rowdies. Tampa Bay with a loss and a draw in their 2 matches away from Al Lang, back at home in the friendly confines. Tulsa trying to achieve what would be a franchise record 6th consecutive win. Never done that before. Only one other time have they won 5 in a row. Major test for FC Tulsa tonight against a high-quality opponent in a challenging atmosphere.
Correct. It's an opportunity for this Tulsa team to really continue to find their identity. I mean, those 5 wins for those teams, we talked about this, Austin, before the game, for those teams that they won against were below the playoff line. Now they come into Al Lang Stadium, one of the most respected stadiums in the USL, against one of the toughest opponents over the last 5 years, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Can this FC Tulsa team continue with that high performance that they've been manufacturing over the last few games?
FC Tulsa 7th in the East. There is Nicky Law, 35-year-old Englishman, player coach for Huntsville City FC until Nico Castillo called him on Monday. Nicky Law actually told us earlier this week he thought when he saw Nico's name on the caller ID that Nico was looking for his input on one of the candidates they were considering. Had no idea he was calling to offer him the job. He was able to arrange to get out of his current deal to come here to Tampa, and Wednesday he was on the field for training.
That's how quickly it happens. We always think it's this long, drawn-out process, but not so much. And what about Nicky Law? Talk about confidence to step in and now try to guide this ship over the next few months. Tall task, but he's the right man for the job.
I said he's familiar with the team, has watched most of their matches during this year. Actually saw him play in person a couple of weeks ago against Birmingham, which is about an hour and a half away from Huntsville. Ekra trying to orchestrate for the Rowdies in the midfield.
Austin, you said it best, though. He knows these players inside out. He was practicing with them all of last season. He understands what Coach Collins wanted from them. So he's going to try to continue and remind them what the big plan is. It's a Goodrum here.
Goodrum making a run just outside the penalty area. An early shot and just wide. FC Tulsa has been effective attacking early in this win streak. 3 times in the last 4 matches they have scored in the first 13 minutes.
Well, Yusuf, Epps, Goodrum, and Dyer. That's a poisonous bunch up front. And this was Goodrum taking the ball right down the throat of the Rowdies defense and just laying it off to Dyer, who shot it wide.
Tulsa applying pressure in the back as Ekra flips it out wide.
So important for the Rowdies to get on the front foot back in Al Lang Stadium against a confident team like Tulsa. And the Rowdies still trying to find their footing after Neil Collins has left.
And Nicky Law told us he talked to the guys. They felt like they weren't playing that high pressure, high intensity brand of soccer that has become the hallmark of the Rowdies the last several years. Guillen boots it ahead. Dayon Harris does well to keep it in play. Look at the keys to the match. Ryan, what stands out?
I think playing with emotion. The last time they came in Al Lang Stadium, it was Neil Collins' farewell, and they finished off with a win. Now the new coaches in town, they have to bring that same intensity and emotion. As for Tulsa, they have to counter with good drum, exactly what they did just a couple of minutes ago. And that's their best bet in trying to catch this Rowdies team as they push forward to to get goals.
Eric Tattersall with the first foul of the match. So a free kick for Tulsa. Injury report. Rowdies were still without Leo Fernandez, done for the year. Lewis Hilton, an ankle injury. He remains sidelined. No timetable for return. Hope is that Sebastian Dahlgaard could be back in about a month. And for FC Tulsa, Adam Armour suffered a lower body injury during training this week. It's a big loss. He was named to the USL Championship Team of the Week for his effort last time out against Rio Grande Valley.
And so too Bourgeois. He's been a staple for this team in the back line for the better part of the year. So two huge losses for Tulsa. And of course the Rowdies, Hilton, Heravo and Dahlgaard. Those are very much staples of this Rowdies team going into the season. And now they've had to find their way without them.
Heravo dealing with a hamstring injury. Starting to do some work. The hope is that they might get him back soon. Hilton comes to the near side. Armin.
Just looking at this Rowdies formation, it's more of a 3-4-2-1 with Doherty and Ecker in the middle, and then the width coming from Harris and Arman. And then LaCava, Jennings are going to try to find those pockets, and Dennis, as you see there, to try and play in those pockets in between Harris and the centre midfielder, and between Arman and the centre midfielder.
Rowdies engaged Connor Sparrow, who had a couple of great saves in the first half last week against Indy 11. Indy only finished with 2 shots on goal, but their opportunities were good in the first half, and Sparrow was there to meet the challenge.
Well, we can't say enough about Connor Sparrow. 6 clean sheets for the year. He had 12 last season. He has the second best per game average goals allowed in the USL Championship. He's a difference maker. He provides so much confidence in the back line, and this man, Jake Arman, fighting his way back from injuries, now back in the starting lineup, providing that natural left-footed width that the Rowdies crave.
Jennings making a run up the near sideline. Justin Malou defending for Tulsa. Spotlighted Jennings in the open. 8 goals, 2 assists. Guy who is so dangerous from anywhere on the field. Antley trying to get in the mix. And that's going to be a corner for Tampa Bay.
Well, if you think Connor Antley is going to sit back at centre-back and not maraud forward, think again. He gets this opportunity, any sort of daylight for him. Look at this service, right into that corridor. Dennis tries to help it on. There he is, half man, half machine, Connor Antley.
A replay brought to you by Bayfront Health St. Petersburg. First corner of the match given to the Rowdies. Right in the middle, Lasso rising up using that 6'5" frame to try to head one past Michael Nelson.
So as good as he is defensively with the headers, this is what the Rowdies are craving from him, Austin. They need the centre-backs to get up and get goals for this team. That'll take pressure off of the rest of the forwards and the midfielders when you can score on set pieces with your centre-backs.
Well, just seeing the way Lasso got up for that corner has to frighten Blair Gavin. Guillen possessing with pressure from Moses Dyer. The FC Tulsa was scuffling. They were 2-7-7 6 weeks ago. Club made a couple of big trades. They acquired Philip Goodrum from Memphis in May. And he has been a huge part of their success. And then Tommy McCabe, the outstanding midfielder, was acquired from Detroit City FC early last month. Those two have really bolstered the roster.
I love those picks. It's right up the spine of the team. You have Goodrum, who's a difference maker, and which he has been a difference maker. And then you have Thomas McCabe, who sits into that pocket in the center circle and breaks up plays, gets possession back for the team, and then creates space for the players. And Nicky Law off his seat already, getting used to this head coaching position. Can't sit down for too long, can you?
Nicky's father was a longtime coach in England. Nicky Law Sr., 20-year playing career, fell into a head coaching job under similar circumstances to what went on with Nicky. It was an opening for the last 6 games of the season. Came in, did a great job, got the job for the following year with Chesterfield FC. And Nicky told us his dad would be up watching, would set an alarm to wake up and watch in England. Said his dad would be more nervous than he was on the sideline.
What Austin is trying to say is, if you're a former player and you just retired, answer the phone, because it's probably someone from a former team trying to give you a job.
LaCava back to Ekra. Harris settles. Poked away by Jorge Corrales.
Oh, this man, Harris. Rowdies desperate for him to leave a mark on the field offensively. He's created quite a few chances so far this season, 13.
LaCava working to get free. Now here comes Ekra. Tried to flick it in the direction of LaCava. FC Tulsa looking for a counter.
You just saw a glimpse from Jan Ekra, the little flick to get past the challenge. That's one of the reasons you turn out to be one of the most capped players in USL history. The ability to do the little things perfectly.
Josef with those long strides. Was off the foot of a Rowdies player and handled with ease by Sparrow. So Josef is a nice looking player for FC Tulsa.
Austin, he looks like one of those players that can walk off the pitch and walk onto an athletic track and run a race. Just a perfect athlete, if you will.
First season as a professional, won a national title during his college career at Marshall. Josef had a goal last time out against Rio Grande Valley. th minute, Tulsa, the only good opportunity so far. It came early, just wide of the net.
On that counterattack, he trips me. Just watch him. Just watch him. I'm just telling you. 10.
You can hear the background, the conversations with the referee. Players always trying to get an angle, reminding the referee of plays that occurred that he did not see or did not whistle.
That was Aaron Guillen talking to Rhett Hamill, the assistant referee, on the near side. Doherty with the free kick. Well placed, and just before the end line, it's grabbed by Nelson.
Well, again, it's the big man, Forrest Lasso, climbing, elevating, and heading it down. Perfect technique. Right into the arms of Nelson, who's been spectacular this season for FC Tulsa. 61 saves, that's number 62 if you're counting. He's second in the league in saves, Mr. Nelson. So talk about valuable player. FC Tulsa goalkeeper, you cannot shy away from him.
Retreating there with his heels over the goal line. Guy who was the 20th overall pick in the 2018 MLS Super Draft by Houston. Never quite found his role. He's constantly on loan, and he has been huge for FC Tulsa.
Jake Armand doing a great job tucking inside Austin, making sure Yusuf does not get that space in between Armand and Guillen. If Yusuf gets on his horse and runs down that line, it could be curtains for the Rowdies. Oh, beautiful.
A terrific ball, and it's going to be knocked away at the last moment by Guillen.
Well, fantastic play all around, offensively and defensively. Marcus Epps, look at this one-time pass. Doesn't ask for permission, plays it beautifully in stride. Good drum. And there's Aaron Guillen. That's why you never give up on the play.
Goodrum just too heavy with that touch. Otherwise, it almost surely would have found the back of the net. So a break for the Rowdies. Guillen made sure it got out of trouble, and now a corner kick. Played toward the back post, and that is well out of play.
Still trying to catch my breath from Marcus Epps' pass. Talk about spectacular. That was right on the money.
Epps in his first full season with the club. He was traded for J.J. Williams last July. J.J. Williams on the bench tonight for the Rowdies. I figure he would love to get a chance against his former team. One more look at the replay.
Oh, this ball just overhit no one at the back post. And FC Tulsa just sort of letting the pressure off.
Hentley got tied up. Harris plays it into the box. Also impressive on the counterattacks. Dyer carries it forward. Guillen right there to mark him. Dyer unable to find any space. Got around Guillen. Played it to the back post. There was no one there.
Moses Dyer, just stop it. Look at the adventure. This is what coaches cannot teach. Players having that attitude and bravery in the last third. It's what we call a belt. He put a belt around Aaron Guillen's waist and went around him. And that was a sort of a shot across the face of the goal. No one crashing in to finish.
Guillen was in position, but unable to keep Dyer in front. Harris trying to get it to Charlie Dennis. And that flicked back toward Nelson. The hope for the Rowdies was that they would come out with a lot of energy back in front of their home crowd after playing back-to-back matches on the road, but it has been FC Tulsa that has had Tampa Bay on its heels defensively.
And you know what? I think just like how the Rowdies turned things around in their season, FC Tulsa have come together collectively as a group, and they're now pressing a lot higher, putting pressure on the Rowdies and opposing teams in not getting settled. And then they find space like this. And they're moving the ball so much quicker, Austin, like they did in the past. And now players like Dyer, and Goodrum and Epps, they're full of confidence. They're playmakers individually and now creating for each other. It really gives you an idea of why FC Tulsa have won 5 in a row, scoring 10 goals and conceding 5 in that 5-game win streak.
And up to 7th place in the Eastern Conference table. Relax boldly in Tampa Bay. Claim your next adventure at visitampabay.com. Guillen gives it away, and a shot is saved by Sparrow.
Yeah, there's that pressure again, Austin. Exactly what we just talked about. They're hunting in packs, not allowing teams to settle. Rowdies trying to play out to the back, and Guillen getting pickpocketed right here. Good drum shot straight to the keeper. But that is a warning for the Rowdies.
Dyer has been extremely active. He was the one who depossessed Guillen and led to that shot. Dayon Harris with space on the right side, and the offside flag is up.
Cannot afford to be caught offside when you're playing as a winger. You have a clear view of the centre back and that last person in line. And it's Dayon Harris' responsibility to stay onside.
Teams exchange headers, and finally it's settled in the back and played toward Nelson. Rowdies trying to turn up the pressure as FC Tulsa has here in the first half. That's Moses Dyer. engage with Eric Tattersall. Dyer, in his first season with FC Tulsa, was signed out of the Canadian Premier League. Native of Auckland, New Zealand, which has a lot of attention with the Women's World Cup taking place in Australia and New Zealand.
And down under.
It's a bucket list trip for me, Australia and New Zealand.
Same here. My dad and my sister have been. I have to make the trek. So Goodrum trying to lead that line, but as soon as Rowdies sort of play out of it, you can see FC Tulsa sort of back off. Understanding Al Lang, it is 96 degrees in the shade. Yep, that's a joke, but it gives you an idea of how hot it is this time of the year in Florida. And teams have to be deliberate with their pressing.
Akra slots it for Jennings. Here's Antley. A lot of talent in the offensive zone for Antley when he gets involved in the attack. First time we've really seen the Rowdies have this level of possession.
I tell you what, in this environment, at home, you coach. One thing Nicky Law wants from his team, because he was a midfielder himself, he wants players to play with a bit of relaxation, get on the ball, and don't be afraid to dictate the play. He wants everyone to be comfortable in possession, just like he was as a midfielder. That's the sort of style that he wants his teams to play with. And when you're playing in this sort of climate, if you can hold the ball for long periods of time and make teams go from left to right for long periods of time, it really wears them out when it comes time for the second half.
Armin probing the middle as the ball's knocked back. Harris retreating.
Despite the possession Rowdies are having, look at FC Tulsa, how disciplined they are defensively, holding their marks, staying compact, not getting pulled out wide, which the Rowdies love to do. The white shirts are staying together as a group. There are not many pockets of space to play into, as you can see.
Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.selectsportamerica.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Couple of headers from Fortis Lasso on set pieces. The only opportunities the Rowdies have generated so far. One of those on frame that sent Michael Nelson's heels over the goal line. But nothing other than that. Tulsa's had a couple of good chances. Armin's cross. Harris does well to keep that in play, but it is taken away. Goodrum dropped it back, made a run, but nothing developed.
Well, Tulsa did exactly what we spoke about at the beginning of the match for the keys of the game. Have to get the ball to Goodrum's feet early so he can dictate the counter-attack. Whether that's laying the ball backwards and then making a run on the second ball, or turning, facing, and trying to find players such as Moses Dyer on the other side.
Dyer's been electric so far. Got it at his feet again, attacking Guillen. Guillen a little bit better effort that time.
Aaron Guillen, one of the best defenders in this league. Moses Dyer got the better of him about 5 minutes ago. Not this time for Guillen.
Began all-league first team a year ago. Here's LaCava. Not able to get it to his feet. But it will be a corner kick, and set pieces have been the best opportunities so far for Tampa Bay.
Well, after Lewis Hilton went out, the dead ball specialist, the responsibilities have been shifted to this man, Charlie Dennis, another Englishman. He's created the most chances. He's in the top 5 in crosses in the league. Hands on hips.
Lasso going up again. 3 times they found the 6'5" defender on set pieces.
Well, the hunger and the desire is there for Forrest Lasso, and that's exactly what this team needs from set pieces. He just needs to convert one to get that confidence to break the duck.
Goodrum whistled for a handball. Rowdies 10 wins, 5 draws, 35 points. That's good for 3rd in the Eastern Conference. 1 point behind Charleston, 3 behind conference leader Pittsburgh. But Tampa Bay does have the best goal differential of any team in the East. They are plus 12. Doherty has some space in the middle and will come out wide.
Heavy touch by Armand. That change of direction by Doherty, switching the field, is exactly what the Rowdies needed. That quick change. Armand's touch let him down, but the speed of play in the last third is the only thing really is going to unlock this Tulsa team that's been so compact and disciplined. Of course, this is Nicky Law's first game, but what Coach Collins demanded of this team is the intensity in every third and every facet of the game. Can this team get back to that sort of desperate sort of play, whether on the ball or without the ball?
Nicky Law talked about that being his biggest takeaway from Neil Collins, the demand for excellence every day in every aspect of what these players did. Dennis not on the same page there with Harris. Again sends it back in. Will be a throw in the deep corner.
So far, after 26 minutes, Rowdies 70% possession to Tulsa's 30, but the counter-attacks are alive and well for Tulsa, and also the high press. They've created a lot of good looks through the counter-attacks and the pressing. So yes, the Rowdies have had the ball most of the time, but Tulsa have had the best look so far. The expected goals, Tulsa have a higher average of 0.28 compared to the Rowdies, 0.22, because of what they have done with the ball in the last third as compared to the Rowdies.
Connor Antley and Philip Goodrum both getting an earful from Eric Tattersall, the referee. Antley went through Goodrum on that throw in. That's the reason for the free kick.
Good calm play by Tulsa. Rowdies pressing, but the white shirts are so confident in where the space is. Ooh.
Lasso put his hand up.
Well, Lasso immediately put his hand up. Looks like it may have been inadvertent, but the referee doesn't see it that way. And quite rightly books the big man.
It was Goodrum that went down, and you could actually, if you read the lips of Eric Tattersall, he could say, Forrest, I have to. I have to.
Yep. You see it's just matching him in stride. Lasso is looking away from the ball, and Goodrum just goes down like a sniper. Caught him from the 28th row. Lasso eyes on the ball. He just touches Goodrum, and Goodrum goes down and hits the ground.
Goodrum and Lasso having a laugh about it. Sides will get a hydration break as they head back to their respective benches. Almost 30 minutes in, no score between the Rowdies and FC Tulsa. It is Pride Night here at Al Lang Stadium. Rowdies honoring all their LGBTQ fans. Nice crowd on this Saturday night. Ralph's mob has swelled in size since the opening kickoff.
Yep, they've come out to see the Rowdies, who've been on the road for the last 2 weeks. A loss to Birmingham, a draw with Indy 11, and now back in Al Lang after that faithful night when Coach Collins had his last match 3 weeks ago tonight. And there they are, supporting, as always, week in, week out. Ralph's mob, Skyway Casuals.
Hoping to cheer on a win as the Rowdies return home tonight. USL's second annual Summer Showcase signals the start of the sprint to the finish. Philip Goodrum and FC Tulsa head west to face Romario Williams and Colorado Springs Switchback FC. That's FC Tulsa and Switchbacks FC, Wednesday, August 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Fourth meeting all time between these clubs. Tampa Bay 2 wins and a draw. Never lost to FC Tulsa. Club that was once known as the Tulsa Roughnecks. Changed ownership, rebranded, new name.
I like the Roughnecks. Should we get a vote going and put it up on the screen and see if Tulsa wants to get that name back? I think I quite like it.
I will say I like the logo of both. I like the color scheme. I wish the numbers were a little bit more bold from a broadcasting perspective.
Absolutely a commentator's nightmare. But I do like the color scheme though. It really does look good. I love the all white. Gives that Real Madrid look. Los Blancos.
Easy to see how much the players have put into it when you look at the sweat coming off those white jerseys.
Brilliant piece of trekking back by Dion Harris, coming all the way back and sticking to his assignment, not allowing Marcus Epps to get in between himself and Connor Antley, just like Jake Armand did with Youssef about 10 minutes ago. It is not an easy task playing a wide midfielder at 3 at the back. You have to go from touchline to touchline.
FC Tulsa has had the better run of play thus far. What can the Rowdies do to try to generate more opportunities?
I think Charlie Dennis and Jake LaCava have to play with a little bit more pace when the ball does get to their feet. Yes, FC Tulsa have been disciplined and not giving much alleys or avenues to pass the ball into, but your creative players like Dennis and LaCava have to be a little bit more assertive and turn on their man and try to create something. And then that will suck players into them, and then they can release the ball out wide to Harris and Armand.
First ever match for 35-year-old Nicky Law. Trying to do his part to continue to elevate this Rowdies organization. Signed as the coach for the remainder of this season. After Neil Collins departed, Stuart Dobson was the interim coach for the last 2 matches. He's now back to his previous responsibility, goalkeeper coach, handling set pieces. Armin arriving for Tampa Bay. LaCava has to retreat.
You know, for the Rowdy faithful out there, you have to be reminded that Coach Law is coming in here just to continue the process. He's not here to reinvent the wheel, as they would say. He's here to stick to the plan that was in place before. Remind the players what the plan is. Hold players accountable for players that are not living up to their expectations on the field. He's not expected to be Coach Collins. He's expected to be Nicky Law, but to continue the process. And that template has been set by Coach Collins and the coaching staff before Coach Law, being his own coach, coming in here to guide this group.
Another voice for these players. They'll get used to it, but a quick turnaround. Nicky Law arrived here in Tampa late on Tuesday, was on the field for training Wednesday. So you figure 2 full training sessions and then a lighter day on Friday and then a game. Poke through and a chance. It's LaCava with the left foot, stopped by Nelson.
Well, the build-up play was fantastic. A little bit of adventure. A layoff by Jennings. Dennis into Doherty, and he smartly lays it off to LaCava, and he shot there. Not enough pace, not enough mustard, Austin. I see it hot dog before. You love mustard. Have to put some more mustard behind the shot to get that past the goalkeeper. I thought LaCava was a little bit too tame.
Goodrum got some space from Antley. To the ground, no whistle from Eric Tattersall, much to the dismay of the Rowdies supporters section. Ekra gets spun around. But some good build-up from the Rowdies the last couple of sequences.
Yeah, the pace in the last third. Carl Jennings with a little flick. The improvisation is what it's going to take to create space in that last third. And Jennings was the man, then Dennis, then Doherty. That speed of play created the chance for LaCava. It's not going to happen on every sequence, but if the adventure and the bravery is there for the players in the last third, then more chances will happen. And this was the problem with FC Tulsa early on in the season. They weren't creating any chances in the last third, not much anyway. And now their players have grown in confidence because defensively they've picked up their duties. And now that's spread offensively. And now FC Tulsa are creating a lot more chances in the last third because of the bravery from their players, like Marcus Epps. Oh.
Epps shoots it forward a little bit too far for Goodrum, who was making a run against Guillen.
Just a quick update on the possession, if anyone's interested. 69-31 Rowdies controlling the possession, but FC Tulsa calculated in their defending and their counter-attacks. They've had the better of the chances, but Rowdies have the better of the sequences in the last 15 minutes.
Ekra in the middle. Armin did well to get that out wide. Jennings battling in the box, and he'll get whistled for a foul.
Well, you don't mind that from your center forward. You're not only there to score goals, and here's another yellow card. It looks like Goodrum has evened the stakes up.
I figure that goes back to a couple minutes when Goodrum slid down, was not whistled for a foul. So each side with one yellow. Goodrum for FC Tulsa. Lasso was given a yellow for Tampa Bay. Push from behind, and there's another foul.
Well, with 38 minutes gone in this sort of heat, players starting just to drag just a little bit. Looking forward to that halftime break. This is that time of the half where players have to be extra careful in not losing concentration defensively and giving away a cheap goal.
Yeah, these are the times where most often you see a mistake leads to a goal rather than a great individual play.
Give me something, man. Quick.
Armin wanting to play it quickly, goes backward to Guillen. Jennings, with no one in particular in the middle. Goodrum on the turf again, engaged with Antley.
Well, they're not going to allow him to turn, Austin. They've seen what he can do before in the opening minutes when he took the ball right down the Rowdies' throat and laid it off for Dyer. And they're trying to meet him just before he turns to stop any sort of momentum. I think you have to be physical with Philip Goodrum. He's that good of a player. He can change things on his own. 7 goals, 2 assists, just about 10 appearances for this team. Remarkable.
Acquired from Memphis in May. And twice in the last 5 weeks, he's been named USL Championship Player of the Week.
Oh, good touch.
Ekra retrieves it. Jennings back to Ekra. No great options as he surveyed the field. LaCava circles around Armin. Ekra trying to chip it in. Headed by Bird, but not out of trouble.
Ekra just trying to be unpredictable. Exactly what you want in that last third. He looked over to Dion Harris on the right, and they just tried to dink it over the top for Dennis to run on. And you don't mind that. You want that sort of creativity from players like Ekra, even if it doesn't work out.
Coming up at the half, Aaron Guillen goes bowling. Take you around the league and highlights and stats from the first half. LaCava crunched in between defenders, but no whistle. FC Tulsa not wanting to waste an opportunity. Crossed in front and over the bar as Yosef came sprinting in. And LaCava remains down.
What a ball by Goodrum. Outside of the foot. Look at this pass. Outside of the foot, right in the path of Yosef, and he raises his head too early, Austin. Have to keep your head down. And here's LaCava. That first tackle gets the ball, and the second one pushes him into McCabe. Legal but tough. It is a full contact sport, so
Rashid Tete helps LaCava to his feet. Nicky Law none too pleased with the lack of an infraction.
Nicky Law talked about his difference in demeanor in regards to Coach Collins and himself. A lot more even-keeled. As many times we've had to mute our microphones over there when Coach Collins was talking in his best Scottish slang to the players.
Nicky's got some fire in him, though.
He does, absolutely.
LaCava appears to be okay. Not trying to do anything too significant yet on that right ankle. Good ball from Guillen to Armin. Dennis running on. 1v1 down in the deep corner. Popped it up high. LaCava battling. Armin heads it. Dennis has it again. Bicycle kick, but still no clearance for FC Tulsa.
Again, though, Tulsa holding their marks. Not much room for the Rowdies to play into. But give the credit to the Rowdies. They recycle the ball, hold possession. Don't lose interest. Don't make a rash pass. Move the ball back around and let Tulsa continue to chase.
Some applause from Blair Gavin over on the FC Tulsa sideline. His first stint as a head coach.
I think he also wants his team to push forward like right now and force the Rowdies into a rash pass. And it works out. Nothing like pressure, Austin, in any sport on any level.
Yep. Kind of like our opens in broadcasting.
Yeah.
All kinds of pressure.
That's right. Yeah.
Coming up on 45 minutes. And still no score in this first half. As you can see, the 4 minutes of added time shown by Daniel Gutierrez, the fourth official. Uh-oh. Ekra lost it.
Now, that's a symptom of Rowdies having possession for such a long period of time. Even though Ekra lost it, look how far back Yusuf was. He was not in an attacking position because the Rowdies did such a good job pinning him back. Yusuf, there he is in your screen.
LaCava inside the box. And it's just wide.
Well, we talked about LaCava, Dennis, Jennings needing that burst of pace in the last third to create something against this stubborn Tulsa defender. And it's LaCava who puts that ball right into that corridor of uncertainty. And Roger Bonnet gets right in the way of Kyle Jennings to disrupt him. Enough to throw him off.
A great turn by LaCava. Jennings with the chance in front as we're in the second minute of added time. Two defenders around Dyer. Dyer pleading his case to the official on the near side. Tampa Bay trying to go quickly.
Dyer just getting a little frustrated with the linesman. Asking for the foul. Just sort of putting his hand on the ball, hoping the referee will call the foul.
Ekra with some pace. Armin out wide. A couple of good touches from Armin. Cross toward the 6-yard box. Headed away, but not out. And then Ekra, a bold left-footed effort. It's going to lead to a Rowdies corner.
Well, it all started with Jan Ekra, and it finishes up with him. He sucked everybody in with some beautiful moves in the middle of the park, and then releases it out to Arman, who had a poor cross. And there's Ekra crashing. Look at McCabe again, throwing his body. He threw his body into a tackle against LaCava, winning the ball fairly, McCabe. And there he is again, just throwing himself in front of the ball to stop Ekra's shot. Just a true leader.
Potentially the last kick of the half. Good work from Yosef there to prevent Lasso from having a chance. From distance, that shot just underneath the crossbar and handled by Nelson. Jake Armin having a go from distance.
Well, just took 2 steps. Look at him. He brought it down with one touch, and then just one step, puts his laces on it. Not much knuckle on the ball. Easy enough save in the end for Nelson.
FC Tulsa showing everyone why they have won 5 consecutive matches, albeit against the lower end of the league. They showed well for 45 minutes here in St. Petersburg, and as the teams head to the locker room, it's a scoreless draw. Debut for Nicky Law as the Rowdies head coach. What kind of message will he have in the locker room for his team? Each side with some good chances. FC Tulsa with the better of the play. 0-0 at halftime here in St. Pete.
Can health insurance help cure loneliness? Can it take care of your best friend too? Or hold your hand for 9 months? Can it be there for you at 3 a.m.? Or inspire you to go the extra mile? We think so, which is why every day we ask ourselves, what else can health insurance do? Come find out.
Imagine a company steeped in heritage, innovating into the promise of what the future can bring, like a phoenix helping others find prosperity. Sagicor's brand, the wisdom to help people make solid financial decisions and the compassion to do good for society and those in need. Life insurance and annuities from Sagicor show your partner, family, and loved ones just how much you care about their financial security. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us a bit about your car. Next, receive an express cash offer online. Then, schedule an appointment at one of our 14 convenient locations to pick up your check. Plus, we'll beat anyone's offer on your vehicle, or we'll give you $500. So, get ready, get set, and get checked. Online at MorganBuysCars.com.
Welcome to halftime, presented by our partners at Visit Tampa Bay. Downtown St. Pete has an outstanding restaurant scene. Rowdies defender Aaron Guillen explored the area this week and attempts to answer the age-old question: roll it or bowl it?
Hello, Rowdies fans. My name's Aaron Guillen. We're at Pacific Counter today in downtown St. Pete. For the past 5 years, they have been feeling our body after practice to get us ready for the weekend.
Thank you for coming today, Aaron. We already know how well you can handle a soccer ball on the field. Now let's see how well you do it rolling it or bowling it.
Let's do it.
All right, Aaron, this is how we cut our avocados here at Pacific Counter.
That's some experience right there.
There you go, my friend. There you go, man. You need something to do in the off season. You got a job here.
Sounds good. Love that.
Today we're gonna make a burrito together here. So we're gonna want to get a little ball rice, about the size of a softball. Pretty good, not bad at all for your first time. Now we're gonna go with the protein here. I know you normally get the barbecue chicken here.
I'll change it up today. We'll get the spicy salmon.
Oh, nice, nice.
I think I'll add a little bit of calamari here.
Oh yeah, it's a hidden treasure in here. So now we get to pick 5 mix-ins and toppings here. All right, this is where the magic happens here. So I like to start from the back here, roll it. As you roll it, everything will spread there. All right, your turn, Aaron.
But everything was going great until now, I think.
There you go.
the spicy AG33. Today, I decided to change it up a little bit. I have some spicy salmon, edamame, calamari, avocado, wonton crisp. Thank you for showing me the ropes today, Chef Talk. Maybe you should come out and try some soccer next time.
Definitely, man. I might just do that.
Aaron Guillen, that guy can roll, man. Much more coming up, including stats and highlights, and we'll take you around the USL Championship. 0-0 between the Rowdies and FC Tulsa here at halftime.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Take you around the USL as we continue with halftime. In USL 1, how about Northern Colorado? 35 points through 16 matches. That's tied for the best start in league history. San Antonio FC dropped a 1-0 game to Miami FC. That ended a 27-game home unbeaten streak, dating all the way back to April of last year. Top 5 in the power rankings. Charleston at number 1. Interesting that Pittsburgh is at 2. Pittsburgh is the top team right now in the Eastern Conference table. And Sacramento, despite having the best goal differential in the league at +16, nowhere to be found in the top 5 of this week's USL Championship power rankings. As for Team of the Week, you'll see 3 members of the Charleston Battery. A couple of guys from FC Tulsa. We spent a lot of time tonight talking about Philip Goodrum. Armour as well, not available tonight, made Team of the Week. And the Player of the Week from Miami FC is Ryan Telfer. A look at the standings right now in the Eastern Conference. Tight at the top, Pittsburgh 2 points clear of Charleston, with the Rowdies sitting on 35 points. And FC Tulsa, with that 5-match winning streak, has climbed all the way to 7th place. But 28 points leaves them just 2 points behind Memphis. So a win tonight for FC Tulsa, and they could potentially jump into 4th place in the East. Amazing how much FC Tulsa has jumped up here in the last several weeks. Scores from other games tonight: Pittsburgh with 4 on the board against Memphis 901 FC. Charleston behind by a goal at halftime. 1-0 the score there between Birmingham Legion and Charleston. Miami FC with a 2-1 lead on Loudoun United. Louisville City and Indy 11, a later kickoff tonight. That match just underway. Coming up on the other side of the break, Ryan will rejoin me. We'll take you through the first half highlights and stats. Rowdies and FC Tulsa, both desperate for a win. 0-0 here at the break.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. Find new experiences, find new roads. Get 2.99% financing for 5 years on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups, or current competitive owners get $3,000 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. See your local Chevy dealer.
Company puts health solutions at the center of everything it does? At Florida Blue, Tai Chi happens. Nurse visits happen. This happens. A nutrition class happens. Answers to your health insurance questions happen. And a healthier you happens. So come by your local Florida Blue Center and experience health solutions at the center.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us a bit about your car. Next, receive an express cash offer online. Then, schedule an appointment at one of our 14 convenient locations to pick up your check. Plus, we'll beat anyone's offer on your vehicle, or we'll give you $500. So, get ready, get set, and get checked. Online at MorganBuysCars.com.
Welcome to halftime, presented by our partners at Visit Tampa Bay. 0-0 between the Rowdies and FC Tulsa. Austin Lyon, Ryan Davis, thank you so much for joining us. Interesting first half. This is the debut for new Rowdies head coach Nicky Law. He wanted his team to be high intensity, high pressure. That's the brand of soccer we're used to seeing from the Rowdies. What'd you think of what they saw in the first 45?
I think it was sort of more of the same over the last 2 games. I think they kind of took their time, had a hard time coming out of the blocks, and didn't create many chances as a result. We saw Forrest Lasso. He actually had 3 headers on goal in the first half. But here was this intensity by Tulsa. It was Epps laying one on, good drum, and Dyer loses his footing. Rowdies get let off the hook. Fantastic pass by Epps. And that was Dyer losing his footing in the end there.
Really in the first 20 to 25 minutes, FC Tulsa had a much better run of play.
Correct. They were punting in packs, they were pressing without the ball, creating chances. And then here was Dennis Theodoris, who lays it on to LaCava, who just tried to put it on target. He didn't try to finish it with any sort of conviction. And you can see Nicky Law just sort of, look at this pass by Goodrum, outside the foot, the on-running Yusuf. That is quality, my friends, that Goodrum provides. And Yusuf had a golden opportunity. Now LaCava finally turned the afterburners on and put a chance in for Carl Jennings, who sort of lost his footing. Good tackle by Bonet just to disrupt him.
So each team with a couple of decent opportunities. FC Tulsa creating more chances, though, with their counterattack.
Absolutely. I think the pressure from them in the last third has created the most chances. They've been the ones who've been initiating the attacks when they're without the ball by the high intensity. And here's a look at the first half highlights. The stats rather, 70% possession for the Rowdies, only 30 for Tulsa. However, the productivity for Tulsa, there was 4 shots, 4 of them on goal, 3 of them on goal, clear-cut chances because they were taking advantage of the space provided when the Rowdies pushed forward with possession. Now, the Rowdies, on the other hand, 7 shots, but they weren't the most deliberate shots. They weren't very efficient in the last third, which they have been for most of the season. Now, the Rowdies have to be a little bit more brave, inventive in the last third, use some pace with Dennis, LaCava, and Jennings, and try to create better chances in the last 45.
And the 3 corners from the Rowdies represented their best opportunities of the first half. Ryan referenced the 3 headers for Forrest Lasso, the big 6'5" defender. But neither team able to put one away in the back of the net. And this is an important match for both of these teams. Rowdies trying to claw their way a little bit closer to the top of the table in the East. FC Tulsa, as we told you during the halftime break, a chance to potentially rise to 4th place in the standings if they get a result tonight. And it would be a franchise record 6th consecutive win. Once before, they've won 5 straight back in 2021, currently in the midst of a 5-match winning streak. But it would be a new mark all time if they could get to 6 as the second half begins. Rowdies attacking toward their supporters, as they like to do in the final 45. See if Tampa Bay is able to supply that high pressure, high intensity type of soccer that Nicky Law wants to see from his team. And you know, the Rowdies players desperate to send him home a winner in his coaching debut.
And I think it's going to take a lot more effort off of the ball, Austin. We scrutinize when the Rowdies or Tulsa have the ball. But what the team that doesn't have the ball shows that intensity and that pressing and sort of cornering the other team, corralling them. That's what often makes mistakes. And then teams get easy opportunities to convert on those mistakes. So yes, it's great to have possession, which the Rowdies had in the first half. But sometimes when you don't have the ball, you can create havoc defensively and create better opportunities.
Harris has it out wide. And Charlie Dennis, certainly a big weapon, hasn't had many opportunities tonight. And this is what we saw for most of the first half. Rowdies content to knock it around the back and try to slowly build.
Well, the Rowdies are now attacking the supporters end, exactly where they want to be in the second half. So let's see if that energy translates to chances created in the last third. It is very much a deliberate decision to attack away from the supporters end in the first half and come down on this end in the second half in our Lange Stadium.
Antley circles it. Number of touches for Dayon Harris in that sequence. And a heavy touch will give Doherty a throw deep in the attacking third.
Chance for Charlie Dennis to get on the board.
Harris knocks it all the way back to Forrest Lasso.
Now the switch has to be quick, Austin. It can't take that long. And this is where the pockets open up now. When the ball switches from side to side quickly, the spaces in between open up.
Antley, it's Jennings. Crosses across the front of goal, and it's cleared out. Good work by Jennings. No one there for Tampa Bay.
Good technique. Jennings had a defender on his back. He was getting to the byline. Still had the wherewithal to hook it back in front of Nelson and create an opportunity.
LaCava running on. Has it taken away.
Good team defending. That was Jake Armand recycling the ball to Lasso, and that was Yusuf, who is really a bag of tricks on that right-hand side.
Jennings running onto that ball from Guillen. That's going to be a Rowdies corner.
Well, Kyle Jennings just running into space. Again, we talk about those gaps that open up. He's a tireless runner off the ball. He's the ultimate team player. Understands his role as a striker, which could be a dog-eat-dog day sometimes. And a chance for Forrest Lasso, who has 3 headers on goal from set pieces. Can he get a 4th one?
In the vicinity of the back post, Dennis Sends it in the direction of Lasso. Two defenders there. It got to the feet of Antley, who just kind of tapped it forward.
Connor Antley looked so lost when that ball came to him. Couldn't decide what to do with it in no man's land.
Ball finally cleared by Tulsa. Back to the midfield stripe. But kept in by Guillen. Now here's Harris. LaCava defended well by Malou. A little too much pace.
Well, there's that keys to the game we were talking about for Tulsa, getting the ball to Goodrum as quickly as they can on counter-attacks. This time the pass was just a little bit too far from him. And shepherded away by Guillen.
Here's Dennis running on just before the end line, crosses it in, and it's headed out for a corner. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home of the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com.
Again, it was Carl Jennings, this time with the flick on, and Charlie Dennis doing all that he could to keep the ball in play and winning a corner.
Tattersall going to come over. Some words for LaCava and Malou. Dennis bending it in. Lasso delivers the header to give the Rowdies the lead.
Look at the response for Lasso. Look what it means to him. Running across the family member. But the dam finally broke. Lasso has been on the end of these crosses for the better part of the night. And he finally gets one guided into the last post. Brilliant delivery by Dennis right into the 6-yard box, and you can't afford the 6'5" lumberjack to get a clear header there. Rowdies on top. And look at that pride. Look what it means. Family. And that's the extended family.
Eric Bird, 5'11", doing his best to keep Forrest Lasso off the ball. He couldn't do it. 6'5", Lasso scores for the first time this year. He has been targeted on all of the set pieces tonight, and he delivers in the 53rd minute. And it's Tampa Bay that breaks on top.
Oh, Dyer.
Tulsa looking to equalize. Ball in a dangerous position.
Oh.
The shot bounced wide.
Again, it was Dyer who turned Aaron Guillen inside out to create that chance, and El Capitan is having a hard time with the youngster.
Dyer, 3 goals, 4 assists in his first season with FC Tulsa. We had a feeling if Tampa Bay kept getting corners that Lasso might have a chance. How about another one? Jennings has it poked over the end line by Malou, and here comes another corner for the Rowdies. How much attention will Lasso get here?
Carl Jennings probing, Charlie Dennis begging for a pass. And Carl Jennings put his blinders on and they take a quick corner.
Harris with a left-footed cross, easily snared by Nelson. Epps plays it out wide. Watching it Sparrow all the way over the end line. No harm.
What a chance this is for Deon Harris right here, the closest to our screen. A chance for him to really get a foothold on this first 11. Seb Dalgard is going to be out for the better part of a month. And this man, Nicky Law, has now put his trust in Deon Harris on his right-hand side. I don't know what is going through his mind. I'm sure the pressure is a little bit off of his shoulders now with that goal from Forrest Lasso. Now he can sort of relax just a little bit and think a little clearer with some stress being relieved.
10th start of the year for Harris. 20th overall pick in the 2020 MLS Super Draft. One season with USL side Real Monarchs before coming here to Tampa Bay. Dennis looking for space, will opt to go backward. Ekra facing some pressure.
Look at Jan Ekra, just absorb the pressure, absorb the contact, and just move the ball into space.
Ekra more USL Championship matches played than any other man. Now above 250, more than 15,000 minutes played. And with the injuries, more on his shoulders.
Yeah. And he's not a spring chicken, so he has to play smartly.
Ekra trying to switch, the ball headed up in the air. Ekra regains. Dennis is taken down, and there's a foul.
I would be very, very upset if I was Justin Malou. Thought he pickpocketed Charlie Dennis. And Tulsa would have been off to the races.
Good ball that time by Harris. Antley with space. Dennis into the box, and it's finished off. What a sequence, LaCava. But the flag is up.
Well, LaCava just made his run a little too quickly off the shoulder of the defender. Great look by Charlie Dennis to go in between the lines, but LaCava has to stay on side there. And the linesman called it. Beautiful play by the Rowdies in the last third. That's what you want from Charlie Dennis. Inventive pass. Aggressive run by LaCava. And another free kick going for the Rowdies. Since the goal, Austin, their tails have been up. Look at the pass, threading the play. And Jake LaCava was adjudged to be offside when the ball was passed, not when he collected the ball.
Great build up there, despite the goal being taken away. Dennis and Jennings tight with their spacing. All off the foot of Jennings and back toward Michael Nelson.
Looks like we have an injury over on the close side. Looks like it's Marcus Epps who's suffering from cramp.
Connor Antley doing his best to stretch out Epps. Jorge Corrales heads toward the sideline. Blaine Ferry will come on for FC Tulsa.
Interesting that Blaine Ferry was left off the first team sheet today. Leads this team in chances created. And now Coach Blair Gavin may have to go back to the bench, as once those cramps start to kick in, they have a funny habit of reoccurring.
Relax boldly in Tampa Bay. Claim your next adventure by heading over to visitTampaBay.com.
Austin, have you ever gotten a cramp in your calf?
Yes.
Possibly one of the most painful things you could have experienced.
Extremely painful.
Yes.
Oftentimes when it happens to me, it's like when I'm dead asleep.
Yes.
I haven't had enough water that day, and like at 3 a.m. just feel the worst pain imaginable.
And you shoot up from the bed. I know exactly what you mean. Were you playing a soccer match in your dreams? Maybe a basketball match, maybe up and down the lines.
All memories of present time fade away. The only thing the only thing in my head is the excruciating pain.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what match you're playing.
Chance for the players to hydrate here as Marcus Epps gets some work. There's Blair Gavin, named to FC Tulsa head coach in August of 2022. Had a pretty quick rise in the coaching ranks. He was a first-team video analyst for the Columbus Crew back in 2021. Great run as an assistant for Phoenix Rising FC. And now the chance to lead a USL Championship side. Said earlier this week they've had a run of some rough luck in the early part of the year. Said he felt like their results were not indicative of their play. And now that things are going their way, the results are much different. 5 wins in a row.
Yeah, he said the team was very disjointed and they were getting stretched very easily defensively. And as a result of that, Austin, when you go down a goal, then the game changes. Then attacking wise is so much harder to get back into the game. You don't have any flow when you're always down 1-0, 2-0. And now that they've sort of taken care of things defensively, it's allowed them to now go forward with confidence. And now players like Marcus Epps, of course, Goodrum always has it. Moses Dyer's going from strength to strength. And Alise Milo Youssef has really been a handful on the right-hand side.
Angel Bernal is going to come on replacing Marcus Epps. This is interesting. Epps a forward. Bernal is a defender. Bernal, the youngest player in club history when he signed as a 17-year-old last season, 18 now. And he comes on in the 63rd minute as Marcus Epps has his night come to an end. Jennings just a little bit late. Eric Bird trying to settle it. Here's Tommy McCabe. Haven't called his name much tonight. Still an opportunity for him to be a big factor.
What a ball.
Yosef out wide.
Oh.
Turns inside. No whistle as Yosef went down.
Big question, Austin.
Dennis for Jennings. In position, save made by Nelson, but followed up. What a left-footed effort by Dennis. And there's the second Rowdies goal.
Well, Charlie Dennis is still going. He created the counter-attack and then he finished it. The bravery, Austin, in the last third, asking the question of the defender. He did it with LaCava just minutes ago, but it was offside. This time, Carl Jennings is onside, but this touch right here gets Jennings out of the play. Good save by Nelson, and look at the technique by Dennis. Keeps his head down and tucks it away and puts the Rowdies in a commanding 2-0 lead. Now, Tulsa asking the question, what about the penalty over there for Youssef? The only thing I could think of, Austin, is when he pushed the ball, it was too far for him to gather. There was no chance for Yusuf to get the ball back in control. Hence the referee decided it was not a penalty. Goodrum with the shake of the head doesn't agree with the no call.
Goodrum still pleading his case. But look at what happened as Yusuf went down.
Well, I think Tulsa have every right to ask the referee, but there's Lasso, but still every right to ask the referee why there was no call on that penalty.
Now how quickly things change. If the call is made, potentially a penalty evens things up at 1. Instead, the Rowdies waste no time with a counterattack, and it's now 2-0. Harris goes down as Yusuf is there.
So Austin, one more quick look here. Let's see if he gets touched. There's Antley, and looks like he went over Antley's knee, and Antley immediately looked at the referee saying, I did not put my hand in the cookie jar. And Deon Harris, who has not had the best of nights, looks to be struggling. However, with Seb Dalgard being out, Rowdies a little short in that area.
Rowdies just signed Abel Caputo this week, joining the team from Inter Miami 2. He arrived late Thursday night, trained with the team on Friday, and Nicky Law told us he would be available tonight. As Yusuf having a hard time staying on his feet.
Yep, still disappointed from the no call for the penalty. It seems to be some sort of agony here. Yep, the way he pounded the grass sort of felt like it was an injury.
So from a philosophical question, look,
I love philosophical questions, by the way. Go ahead.
I mean, you watch a lot more soccer than I do, right? If you really have to scrutinize a replay the way that we did, is that an indication that a no call is the right call?
That is a very, very fair question. And the referee only gets one look at it. We get 1,000 if we would like. And from that first look, if it was not enough, if he saw Connor Antley not initiate the contact and Yusuf being the one initiating, then yes, he would say, you initiated the contact, no call. And on our fourth replay, it actually looked like he initiated it and went over Connor Antley's knee.
But Yusuf going to be taken to the sideline on the near side of the field.
If you are a FC Tulsa fan, players like Yusuf, players like Dyer, like Goodrum, you have to be excited with this group up front.
How much as a referee do you take into account? Yusuf is 6'3". You know, he is lean, as opposed to someone like Goodrum, who's it's much harder to get Goodrum on the ground, right?
Yeah. You know, I don't think you go through that thought process. I think as a referee, with so many things going on, you kind of have to make that bang call, as they would say in baseball. And I think, like you mentioned at the beginning, if you have to go through it that much times, then obviously there's some doubt, and the doubt has to favor the defending side.
Yusuf, in his first season as a professional, he has been subbed off, and he's got a long walk almost all the way around the perimeter of the field to get back to the FC Tulsa bench. Saeed Haji is the player who comes on. Number 2 overall pick in the MLS Super Draft in 2019. He's a guy with a lot of skill in his first season with FC Tulsa. Circles in behind, ball at the top of the 18. And a shot knocked down. Good defending by Ekra as Eric Bird made a run. Shot on the ground and just wide. Second time tonight, an FC Tulsa shot has gone just beyond the reach of Connor Sparrow. Slightly off target from Dyer.
Here's Dyer, who leads this team in shot attempts per 90 minutes. And that one, a daisy cutter, Austin, that almost found the back of the net.
Well, FC Tulsa certainly ramping up the pressure and creating 2 or 3 great chances here in the last couple minutes. 0-0 at the half. Rowdies have found the back of the net twice here in the second half. A Forrest Lasso header in the 53rd minute, and Charlie Dennis scoring on a rebound in the 64th.
You know, I'm going to go back to the possession that the Rowdies had in that first half. I think Tulsa did a great job staying compact, allowing the Rowdies to have that possession. But in the end of the day, Austin, Tulsa chased for most of the first half. In this sort of climate, in this sort of weather, it is tough to keep up that energy when you're chasing a ball for so long. And I think it started to pay dividends for the Rowdies.
Bernal running on. Once again, FC Tulsa threatening. Shot knocked down by Dennis. Oof. Offside flag is up as Goodrum tried to orchestrate some magic.
Tulsa right now are trying to get on the ball to get things back, understandably, but so far the possession numbers still swing heavily towards the Rowdies at 69-31. So Tulsa have to be a little more aggressive in trying to retrieve the ball from the Rowdies. They can't sit back like they were in the first half. Have to press a lot more often. This weather is not easy.
There's so much heat throughout the entire country, not just in the southeast, as Harris makes a run. Able to play it off, and it'll be a corner for Tampa Bay. Certainly if you live in Tulsa, you're well aware of how much the heat can affect things. Shortly before kickoff, it was 89 degrees. The feels like temperature was 104. It's gone down significantly, but trying to run around in that kind of heat for 90 minutes is a tremendous challenge.
Yeah, we have a little thing called humidity in Florida. Yeah, you can cut it with a knife this time of the year. Well, Forrest Lasso is getting extra attention now from Goodrum himself. The center forward is wearing Forrest Lasso's jersey.
Doherty to the front of goal. No one there for Tampa Bay. Doherty might get another shot at it.
Oh, look at that flick on. Here they go. Poor pass from Dyer, but
Goodrum running hard. Doherty with an unnecessary shove as the ball was going out of bounds. I would think Doherty might deserve a card for that.
So Goodrum, he was on the end of one with Lasso. Wasn't much contact there. He's chasing with Doherty. He bodies him off. And again, goes over very easily. And looks like Doherty now gets a yellow card. He wasn't saying sweet hellos to the referee.
An unnecessary shove right along the sideline there from Doherty. So he's shown a yellow.
But I don't think for that reason, though. I think it was definitely for the words that was said after. By the way, it still says 85 degrees. And we are 10 after 9 Eastern.
Even at 9 o'clock, no breaks from the Florida heat and humidity. And even tougher here at Al Lang when the opponent is of the quality of the Rowdies.
I tell you what, though, we were questioning FC Tulsa's run against the opponents. They, in that run, scoring 10, conceding 5, they have found their identity. They have found themselves in this 2023 season.
Yeah, 5 straight wins for FC Tulsa, as we mentioned, most of those coming against teams that were in the lower end of the table. Interesting that you said we. You took it upon yourself to include me in that. I think you need to wear. I think you need to wear that.
I do. I think I need to own it because I really felt strongly. But I do feel strongly that even though the opposition may not be the best, I think Tulsa, more importantly, in the long haul, found the identity they were looking for. And now there's a lot more trust in the squad on the field in regards to defending, intensity, and where to go, where the space is. And that's why they're scoring more goals. That's why they look more dangerous. They look more dangerous than the Rowdies for the better part of 90 minutes. And this man, Carl Jennings, what a shift he's put in.
Well, Jennings is going to head to the bench as J.J. Williams will come on. FC Tulsa making their final 2 changes with Colin Fernandez and Christopher Pearson set to make their way into the game. I wondered if J.J. Williams would get an opportunity tonight. He was the leading scorer for Tulsa in the middle of last season when he was traded to Phoenix. Finished out the season with Phoenix and ultimately found his way to Tampa Bay, and he's been extremely productive so far. 7 goals, 3 assists for J.J. Williams.
So I'm glad you're asking me the question. If J.J. Williams scored, what does he do? I think he takes his shirt off, run around with bare-chested right up to the FC Tulsa's bench. That's what I think he does.
I won't be disappointed if we get a chance to see it, based on that explanation.
Yeah. Sometimes teams, players who are traded and played for previous teams, if they score against their previous team, don't want to celebrate in respect for the effort they put in for that previous team. I don't know, getting traded halfway through the season, getting bounced around. Maybe J.J. Williams has a different idea.
Williams at 6'4", you will not be surprised to hear was a basketball player in high school at Alabama Christian. You might be surprised to hear that he was also a member of the bass fishing team in high school.
I mean, if you're in high school, that's a team you want to be on, right? Let's go fishing. Of course, let's go fishing. It's Friday at 12 o'clock. Why not?
I think much like, people in high school don't necessarily have the same frame of mind that they do when they're a little older. When you're, in your mid-30s, playing golf, going fishing, those are things that you really love to do, activities that you crave.
All right, Austin, if it's up to going to math class or going to bass fishing at 15 years old, I'm going bass fishing every day of the week.
I'm not sure the choice was between math and bass fishing. I mean, it's a legit after-school sports activity.
Okay, good point.
Here comes Dennis. He goes down, and there will be a foul called and a yellow card shown. Can't watch the match? Tune in on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. It's all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. That's Saeed Haji, who was given a yellow.
Now this is the perfect angle for Charlie Dennis, the left footer. Nobody else should be standing around that ball. Right footers are only there to be a decoy at the moment. He has the perfect angle. Yep, there's Jordan Doherty. But Charlie Dennis has the green light here to let it fly.
Forrest Lasso hanging around there at 6'5". Already with a goal tonight. How much would he love a brace?
Up 2-0. I tell Forrest Lasso, take the play off. I'm going for goal.
Be a brace for Dennis too, but it sails over the top of goal.
Easier said than done. Free kicks, they are not easy to get up and over. Takes a lot of technique and whip. Here's that high press, J.J. Williams, who became a fixture in this Rowdies team after a slow start because of his lack of awareness in pressing, has now turned into a pressing machine. And of course, Carl Jennings went on that scoring run, has earned the right to be in the starting lineup. But J.J. Williams has come leaps and bounds on the defensive side of things as a centre forward.
Rowdies are going to make another change as Freddie Kleeman gets set to come on. He'll replace Dayon Harris.
Now, Rowdies don't have a natural wide right player since Dalgard and now Harris are coming off. Interesting to see who goes out there and if Coach Nicky Law changes his formation as a result.
Nineteenth appearance for Freddie Kleeman. Played in all but 2 matches this season. LaCava out wide for Dennis. Dennis circles and loses possession.
What an important touch by Kleeman.
Doherty. Great cross, and it's headed in. J.J. Williams. Against his former team, Williams delivers a 3rd Rowdies goal of the half.
Well, he celebrated it all right, but he has to come across to Jordan Doherty. He did all the hard work, comes to the byline and delivers a peach. And he says good morning to everyone in Ralph's mob. J.J. Williams, perfect technique to match the perfect technique on the cross. Yep, Jordan Doherty, the man, setting that up, creating that goal. What a goal. His 2nd touch on the ball. And this man served up a platter for him to eat on.
8th goal of the year for J.J. Williams. And with that goal, the Rowdies have donated another $250 to the Bayfront Health St. Petersburg Foundation. 2nd half goals for Lasso, Dennis, and now J.J. Williams scoring against his former team. And a 3-0 scoreline as we hit the 84th minute.
So I take back my comment that I said that the Rowdies don't have a natural right-sided player. Connor Antley, of course, the train himself, is now playing that wide right midfielder as Dayon Harris came on, and Kleeman takes his spot at the centre-back position. There's Kleeman.
Off the head of an FC Tulsa player. That'll be a goal kick. Eight goals for J.J. Williams, ties him with Cal Jennings for the team lead. And that's the 1st assist of the year for Doherty.
You know, this Rowdies fan base has seen Jordan Doherty grow up on the soccer field. Came here 3 years ago from Ireland. He was finding his way, playing in different positions, went back to Ireland last year, or the year before rather, and a handball from Charlie Dennis, but went back to Ireland, refined his skills, and came back again to the Tampa Bay area. As you see Jake LaCava talking about refining his skills. And now Jordan Doherty, you cannot get him out of that holding midfield position now. It is his.
Started all but 1 match this season, and he's played every minute of the matches he started. Gives you some indication of his value to this club.
And I hope the Rowdy fans do not undervalue him, because he's as valuable as they get.
Ball skipped away from Dyer. Eventually, Rowdies awarded a throw-in. Tampa Bay going to make a couple more changes. Won't be long before these teams see each other again. August 18th in Tulsa. It'll be these same two teams. Haji trying to maneuver his way through the defense. And now a potential counter for the Rowdies. Antley holds it up.
Also want to say, as great as Carl Jennings and JJ Williams have been getting goals for the Rowdies always needed another person to produce, and that was Leo Fernandez last year. He was the MVP. He's the reigning MVP of the USL, but they've gotten that support from Charlie Dennis. 7 goals this season in that attacking midfield area, that number 10 position we call it, and he dictates the play as well, takes the dead balls, the free kicks. I think he's the man of the match tonight. A goal and an assist to really put the Rowdies up 2 goals. And then, of course, Jordan Doherty with that fantastic run for JJ Williams to get the 3rd. I think Charlie Dennis has to be the man of the match, because he turned the game on its side with the assist to Lasso on the corner and then the goal of his own.
Terrific night for Charlie Dennis. Now 7 goals this year. His first assist of the season came on that corner to Lasso. Antley standing all by himself, trying to get someone's attention. Long night for Jan Ekra. 3 subs waiting at the midfield line for the Rowdies. See if they get a chance to come in. It's going to be a successful debut for Nicky Law. First career game as a head coach, as he was tapped to take over this club for the rest of the season earlier this week.
Oh, what a pass.
Terrific ball. Not much power behind that shot. It's easily swallowed up by Sparrow.
What a night for this man. All the pressure was on him. Back in Al-Lan Stadium. How would he guide this group? And they held possession for long periods of time. They looked vulnerable in giving up that possession to this Tulsa team. And Tulsa missed some opportunities, but in the second half, took advantage of that possession that they held in the first half, wore Tulsa out. And Forrest Lasso and company put the team on their backs and has delivered an important 3 points for Coach Law to give him confidence and to get the team back in the win column.
It's 2:24 a.m. right now in England. You wonder if Nicky Law Sr. is still awake watching the match, and if he is, no doubt brimming with pride at the job his son did in his head coaching debut. Felix Schroeder among the subs coming on for Tampa Bay here in the 90th minute. Obviously a life-changing event for Nicky this week, right? He gets the call on Monday. It works things out. He leaves from Alabama on Tuesday, does training on Wednesday. Nicky is married with a 7-year-old son, Oscar. They are both on holiday right now in Europe. When they left, they thought they were going to be living in Huntsville, Alabama. When they come back, they'll be living in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Nicky told us that his son Oscar had a really hard time leaving the Bay Area, loved being here. Said they had to drag him away kicking and screaming. I imagine he'll come back pretty willingly.
Oh yeah, with a big smile on his face. The question now, is Oscar up at this hour, or is he passed out on the couch with the chocolate milk in hand?
You know, there's a chance that Nicky Law Sr. is awake. I think there's no chance that Oscar's awake right now. Schroeder just came in, gets a chance to possess.
You know how much the Rowdies have changed over the last few months. Ariel Martinez was starting for the Rowdies as they were trying to find their footing, to find their starting 11, trying to guide the younger players. Now he's back to his original position or spot on the team, coming off the bench as a spark plug. Felix Schroeder, I think the Rowdies are going to use him a lot coming down the stretch. He got an injury and also a personal incident he had to attend to. And then I think he's back in action. And this guy, Caputo, holding midfielder. I'm guessing when a man called Sergio Busquets comes to town in that position, you may come surplus to requirements. And Caputo now getting the chance to come into the Rowdy gear from Inter Miami and playing that holding midfield position and provide some competition for Doherty and Ekra, and also some backup as well. Can't have enough talent in the center circle.
And Nicky Law not only coached against, but also played against Caputo earlier this season.
Is there anyone that Nicky Law has not played with or against?
Caputo was with Inter Miami too. And Nicky Law was a player coach for Huntsville City FC. So Nicky was recounting for us earlier this season when they played Inter Miami 2. It was 3-1, pretty late. And they're trying to get some guys off. And so coach asked Nicky to go in and play. And Nicky, of course, regaling us with the story of how they scored a goal to make it 3-2, nearly came back and won. But he was able to see Abel Caputo up close. And after arriving in Tampa late Thursday night, he's on the field here tonight as we're in the third of 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Just want to reiterate to everyone looking at home, that 6 minutes that you're seeing extra time, that is a conscious effort by the leagues around the world to add time for corner kicks, free kicks, fouls. So even though there weren't many big incidents in the second half, all those little stoppages are being added on to get the full run of play. Oh, Schroeder. Oh.
Potential counterattack thwarted with what will surely be a yellow. There it is.
Well, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? There's Roxy, the Spaniard, was left for dead on that pass from Goodrum. And there's Schroeder picking the pocket and then getting caught with his foot in the cookie jar.
Yes, been a tough night for Goodrum. He's obviously frustrated, but this could have been a very different match. It was 0-0 at half. FC Tulsa had 2 to 3 very good chances. They could have been up 2-0 at the half, and we could have been talking about a very different scoreline.
Absolutely, and I hate to pick on Yusuf at the end, but that ball from Goodrum with the outside of the foot into the path of Yusuf to tap it in, went over the bar at the end of the second half, was really changed the fortunes for the Rowdies.
Another full effort from Aaron Dien tonight. Antley trying to provide a brace for Williams. That's a deep corner throw in. Dantley was hoping that might get some English on that, leading to a corner. Schroeder has it taken away.
J.J. Williams is writhing in pain.
It was Blaine Ferry who was carrying it forward. He gets up. All indications are that Williams got the worst of it. He is grabbing the back of his right foot.
And he's asking the referee. I think it's one of those stingers, as they would say. And he kicks the back of it. Ooh, the toe hits the Achilles tendon on the back of J.J. Williams. Inadvertent though, so the referee had every right to make a no call. But it does not make that any less painful.
Fortunately, Williams, after seemingly writhing in pain, got up fairly easily. Didn't appear to be too upset. I mean, you never see that in soccer.
It's, yeah, not at all. I think it's one of those stingers, and then when it wears off, you get up.
Ariel Martinez plays it off a Tulsa player. Could get the final whistle at any moment. Tampa Bay came into the night in third place. And there is the final whistle. Forrest Lasso opened the scoring in the second half. Charlie Dennis and J.J. Williams followed, and Nicky Law goes home a winner in his head coaching debut. A great night for the Rowdies, and a second half to remember for Nicky Law. Ryan and I come back to wrap it up, show you some of the highlights as well. 3-0 Rowdies, the final.
There are 16 spots in the playoffs, and just one track left. Well, not just any track.
We're basically going to have to win.
Daytona. A last chance to keep playoff hopes alive.
We're 1 point to the good.
And for fans to experience an event unlike any other. It's time to go big. Yeah! And watch the drama unfold before your very eyes. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Back at Al Lang Stadium in St. Pete, Rowdies faithful heading home happy on this muggy Saturday night. 3 goals in the second half for Tampa Bay. They win it 3-0 to improve to 11-5-5. 38 points. They will stay at third place in the Eastern Conference, with Pittsburgh and Charleston both getting wins tonight. Ryan Davis, a phenomenal second half effort from the Rowdies in Nicky Law's coaching debut.
Yeah, and Forrest Lasso finally gets one, gets over it, and gets the technique just right to put the Rowdies that all-important 1-0 lead. And here comes that love family, and look at this, what it means to Lasso and the crowd. And then Charlie Dennis puts it in stride. Jennings, great save by Nelson. Look at the technique, Austin, just to make something hard look so easy. This touch gets away from Jennings here. Nelson makes himself large, and Dennis like drinking a cup of tea.
7th goal of the year for Charlie Dennis. He had the assist on the goal by Lasso. And then in the 83rd minute, J.J. Williams, against his former team, finishes the tremendous effort from Jordan Doherty.
Doherty did all the hard work, and J.J. Williams finished it off in style. 8th goal for him this season, and the Rowdies are rolling. They're back in stride. Nicky Law gets his first win.
7 shots on target for Tampa Bay, just 2 for FC Tulsa. Possession is something we talked about a lot throughout the match. You had said earlier that you thought the amount of possession the Rowdies had kind of wore Tulsa down.
I did. It was like body punches in a boxing fight. Later on in the rounds, started to take its toll, and Tulsa just could not find the energy to match the Rowdies' intensity in the second half.
7 corners for Tampa Bay. The fourth one was the breakthrough, the lasso goal that ultimately is the game winner in the 53rd minute. So Tampa Bay, after a loss and a draw on the road, returns home, and they return to their winning ways. A look at what's ahead. And some big matches on the horizon for Tampa Bay. It starts Saturday at Pittsburgh. Top team in the East, Riverhounds, a winner tonight, so they will stay in first place. And as we mentioned, on August 18th, these same 2 teams again, 3 of the next 4 on the road for Tampa Bay.
Absolutely, but if they have this sort of confidence, getting back into this DNA, I think they're going to be okay. That match against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, absolutely huge. It's going to set up the other road matches depending on that result August 5th.
FC Tulsa's 5-match winning streak comes to an end. They stay on 28 points, still 7th place in the Eastern Conference. A tremendous debut for Nicky Law, first-year head coach. He's walking off the field with a nod to the fans, thanking Ralph's mob, who are cheering him off as a winner in his head coaching debut. For Ryan Davis and our entire crew, led by producer Tom Sipos, director Scott Corcoran, Austin Lyon saying so long from Al Lang Stadium in St. Petersburg. The final on the final match of July, 3-0 in favor of the Rowdies. They get back to their winning ways here at Al Lang Stadium.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Thank you, boys.